glimpse of its Zircon hypersonic cruise missile. Is that why we're setting up world defenses right now? We'll let you know in just a moment. All right. What is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Before we get started, we're going to be going into some pretty serious stories, so I just want to remind you, this is not to scare you. This is more so that we are all used to it by the time, if anything ever happens, again, that we don't freeze and that we don't make the wrong decisions, and that we are prepared. A lot of people have prepared because of this show. We actually warned 11 months ago and 12 months ago. If you go through our channels, you can just look at the thumbnails about pandemics and how they were probable, not possible. And now, of course, because of that, a lot of people were able to thank us because they were prepared when everything first ran out. This next one, I think that is kind of obvious, and I'm going to go over why I think that, and then I'm going to get your opinion as well. This is a live call-in show. So, before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else that works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that being said, if you're not getting notifications through the tube or through DLive or any of the other platforms we're on like Twitter, make sure to sign up for our own push notifications. You can go to marfooglenews.com. At the same place, you can actually sign up for our creator alerts. We're having large creators such as High Impact Flicks, Jacob Israel, Edge of Wonder, putting out articles through our platform, but we are also going to be putting out alerts through that. If there's anything that we absolutely know without a shadow of a doubt, it's a fact, it's happening, we would let you know and warn you through that system. That's again at marfooglenews.com. And just to remind you, we back up what we say, or 99% of it, on our website. So if you actually go to our website, you'll see that it's all organized by thumbnail, and you'll see when you click on that, it says matter of months, not years, which I'll explain why I titled it this as well. Just talked to somebody who I trust in the military. It shows every single link, every single tweet, every single video that we have here is actually backed up with a bibliography of sorts. Before every single show, Dex loads all of the articles there so you can actually follow along. Then, of course, you can actually go back to it. You retrospectively can go back and check our work and see if that we are correct. If we do make a mistake, I encourage you guys, you can always correct me. I will publicly correct if I ever lead anyone the wrong way. We try to use approved sources, but we also try to ask questions about those approved sources. That's what makes it kind of on the same note as people say, oh, it's mainstream. It's also a lot of theories about mainstream. So again, that's why we get in trouble a lot. Either way, we're going to keep going. Let's introduce Dex. Dex is my co-host / call screener at 2244000Marf. Once you press option 4, you'll get a hold of Dex today. We're going to be taking less calls because we are actually going to flow right into the live debate. Dex, are you there, and can we do a sound check?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So a lot already going on. I see a lot of Marfia in the chat. T. Palomino, Peacekeeper 2. D-Live's mom, thank you for the support. You know that I'll just be returning that at some point to your stream. Thank you for the Ninja Genie. And then Patricia Den, thank you, 01. One Love, Army Gina, Medic 13. You see a lot of nicknames and military screen names in there. That's, in fact, why we lost our Discord, because of all those military folks, and I'm proud to have them. Again, we've got Hexagonal Peach. We've got some people from the Hex community here, it looks like. MC Fluff, Ghost999, Bad Boy Channel, Regular Mom Prepping, Awesome. EOD Vet and RE55, thanks for being the last ones out last night over on YouTube. Angelina Marble, thank you for following. Richard LeBlanc and Mary Mac 8. I really appreciate all of you guys being here. Jack equals the cutest baby ever, says Amy B. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, if you don't know me, we have 3 girls, and we just had our 4th, a little boy named Jack, just 2 days ago or 3 days ago. It seems like it's all one long day because we haven't slept. Lily Lee, we've got Ashley Spirit, Cheryl Coyne, or Coiney, I think. Liberty Thunder, Samuel Patterson, Tracy Gilver, thank you. I think that is the name of the woman on the show called The Unicorn. Anyways, Melissa, what is going on? The Bold, the Coffee, and Greg Newfoundland. Calip Lion, thank you so much for being here. Jimmy the Lip is here as well. Great creator. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you are making tons of great videos. All right, let's get into it. Dex, I'm going to be pulling you in here in a second. I know you're going to have to take calls over at 224-400-MARF. There's a lot going on with Russia. Obviously, yesterday, we get the news that Starlink is actually going to also be a defense system. It's going to be a tracking system for incoming objects. Now, it's not exactly clear when they mean incoming. Of course, they 100% made it clear that, yes, it can be worked for hypersonic missiles and to track them so we can send our own hypersonic missiles and intercept. But there's another thing that isn't so much clear on that, is if that can be used outwards as well for asteroids and meteors. We, of course, have had even the last few days, they have said we have 5 asteroids coming close in just 4 days. Most of these are going to swing by or swoop by. The point is, it seems like it's going up and up and up and up, and we just keep getting more and more and more. It says Russia says that this is the first glimpse of its Zircon hypersonic missile cruise missile. It says launched from a frigate in the White Sea, the weapon has claimed to have exceeded a speed of Mach 8 before hitting a naval target. Mach 8, to give you an idea, Mach 1, or is it Mach 2, that is the speed of sound. So I guess that would be 4 times or 8 times the speed of sound. Absolutely incredibly fast, faster than a bullet, I believe. This is
each Mach is the speed of sound. So
okay.
Like 1 is the speed of sound, 2 is 2 times.
So it is 8 times the speed of sound. You would get hit, and then you would hear it going by or hear the blast later. It says the Russian Ministry of Defense has announced that it says that the first test launch of its Zircon hypersonic cruise missile against a naval target, it says that the first in-class Project 22350 frigate, Admiral Grushkov, fired the weapon during an event that may have been timed to coincide with the birthday of President Vladimir. It says the missile took place the missile test took place on October 6, 2020, and the Defense Ministry released a brief video of the launch and the following day, the president's 68th birthday. That is pretty nuts, actually, just to hear that Vladimir is 68 years old. All of these legacy leaders are getting up there, aren't they? 68 by today's standards is not old, but again, it's up there for a leader to be getting up into the 70s. It says, according to TV Zvezda, the official television network of the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Zircon, also sometimes translated to Zircon, achieved a speed of more than Mach 8 before striking a target located 280 miles away. So they will hit you, and they will hit you fast from an extremely far distance away. That's part of my state. That would be across the state, and then hitting it at Mach 8, at 8 times the speed of sound. I would love if anybody in the chat ended up doing the math on how many miles per hour that is, and how fast would that travel 280 miles. I'm sure that's a pretty easy math question there if somebody wants to do the math on it. I think it would be interesting to find out. An official Kremlin account confirmed that Putin had been informed of the test launch the day after in a video conference with the chief of the general staff. First Deputy Minister of Defense Valery Gerasimov, I totally butchered that, Valery Gerasimov. And it says the Russian defense chief told Putin that the missile achieved a maximum altitude of 17.4 miles before hitting its target after a flight time of 4.5 minutes. So, wow, that is incredible. Like, wow. So, again, this system, whether you believe it or not, and I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people saying that Russia doesn't even have this, that it's fake or this or that. I believe that all of the major powers have this technology by now. They probably have had it, but now it is public. This is probably how they have done such attacks, first responses on smaller conflicts. And we probably saw one of these go off, but just didn't realize what it was. I wonder about the timing of this, and then of course, the explosion in Beirut. I wonder if it's so fast if you could even see it. Just a question. Just some questions out there are left unanswered still on that. So again, it says that the Gerasimov added that Zircon, officially part of the K-322 weapons complex, is expected to equip additional submarines and surface ships of the Russian Navy. So this can actually be fired from a submarine. Is that right, Dex? It sounds like this thing can actually be loaded into a submarine, launch out of the water, and then still go this fast. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's either a sub or it's from a ship. But the interesting thing is I think the speed on that distance would have been less than 3 seconds at that Mach. But obviously there's a ramp up time for it to speed up. And I'm assuming the distance it went was probably more like an arc up and then down. So therefore it took a little longer than the actual math would have said.
Are you kidding though? Well, I mean, just say it was that speed right off the bat. You're saying it would get somewhere in 3 seconds? Is that? Am I tripping?
3 minutes. You said 4 minutes in the article. And I think
okay.
It should have been I'm sorry. I meant 3 minutes. But by the math, it should have been 3 minutes. But obviously there's speed up time. And then I'm assuming it's going to take an arc up and down, not necessarily straight across.
So we have 4 minutes to save America if this was fired at us. If this was fired at us, this is why most likely they're coming up with systems that they tell us last minute are actually for defense. I don't know if anybody actually did what I asked, and I'm going to check my DMs. I'm actually going to check and see if anybody went back through the old videos. Over a year ago and further on, even just a few months ago, we called it here at Marfoogle News that what Elon was doing with this grid was going to be a part of some sort of meteor defense or some sort of object defense. And now we find out that it's actually going to be part of it. They're going to equip certain ones of these with these sensors. So it just seems funny to me that we're making this kind of cage around the Earth, and everybody thought, it's just they want to give everybody internet. I don't know about that. I think that Space Force, the formation of Space Force, a lot of the events that have been happening across the world that are, of course, a lot of them unexplained. Like our amphibious assault ship catching fire, burning for 5 days. It's a steel ship. It had no explosion that caused it, so there was no gas or fuel tank. In fact, they were trying to keep it away from the fuel tank. It seems like, from what was reported from the official approved sources, that they actually didn't exactly know how it started. And it's not like there's a bunch of nice curtains and tablecloths to catch fire in a Navy ship. It's mostly set up for functionality. It's set up for gentlemen to be living in a steel can. I mean, that's why they say you're out on the sea in the tin can. It's a tin can. Why did it take 5 days to get the fire out? That was weird, right? But then you go, just a few months before that, the same kind of assault carrier, an amphibious assault carrier in China, was lit up and was on fire again, both in their ports. So this wasn't during a conflict. This wasn't during a battle, the Battle of the Pacific Sea. This was the battle of being ported. I mean, like, they were sitting there. They were parked cars. They were basically parked cars that got lit up or just, spontaneously combusted. Do a lot of you believe that they just spontaneously combusted? And what are the odds in the entire world? I wonder if a scientist could do the math on this one, that 2 amphibious assault carriers from 2 nationalities that just happen to be enemies catch fire in port for 5 days, and they can't put out the fire for some reason. Some people think that since right after that, they announce, oh yeah, by the way, Russia and China have weaponized space. They have directed stuff up there that is putting energy into a direction down here. And then all of a sudden now we're getting news of hypersonic missiles, and that Starlink is actually going to also be used to defend us from objects incoming. Am I anywhere close here to sounding like I'm making sense? I don't know. You tell me. I'm going to go over to the chat. I want to get your opinions on this. I think that something's going on here. I mean, doesn't take, Gentle Moss, 2.7370 minutes to go 280 miles. That would be assuming that, again, like Dex said, if it was that speed from the beginning. I think, again, it's probably half the time is it ramping up and then whoosh goes. If it's 4 minutes, that means it only takes like 20 seconds or something to get to that speed, which is absolutely insane. It's like 0 to 60 in 20 seconds. 0 to 8,000 in 20 seconds. West by God, Virginia, thank you so much for the sub. Again, you've been resubbed now. I love Dashhound says, love my Foogle fam. And then we've got Get Thomas. Hello, everyone. GBY. And then we saw some people up here as well. D-Live's mom, thanks again. Fire Schmitz. And thank you for the congratulations, D-Live's mom. I hope your son's doing okay. And then let's see here. We actually also have Lady Mel, Trek Prepper, and Red 1967. Thank you guys for being here. Grace for you too. I see you. We trust your gut too, Adam. Head on a swivel. I really hope that is. I hope I'm not right. People. I really do. In other news, this is completely related in my opinion. China threatens conflict over new Taiwan independence proposal, state media. We reported yesterday that they, of course, have put out propaganda video basically showing these different launches and all this kind of stuff. This is over the last 6 months. They've released several very kind of unnerving things. Xi Jinping telling his military to prepare for war, right? Then you've got their state-affiliated media. I want to say it was the China Times, or were one of them, one of the main ones that is run and owned by the government. Basically told the soldiers. It said that they told soldiers to say goodbye to their families, which is kind of freaky. And this was all right after Australia basically called out to the world saying that they wanted an independent study on what happened there with the whole CV thing. And that was right after they go, oh, you want an independent study? Okay, we're going to put an 80% tariff on your trade with Australia. So basically they suggested, oh, let's not have this 3-letter agency do the investigation. Let's have a separate third party do it. China was like, no, and we're going to fine you, and we're going to tell our military to get ready. What does that tell you? Then, of course, I told you yesterday, almost 100 nuclear scientists all resigned the same day. These are working for the CCP. You put a target on your back for the rest of your life if you leave them hanging like that. It's not like you're somebody mopping the floor. You're a nuclear scientist. They depend on you. You are, part of their research and development. If you leave, that leaves them screwed. So that was a big deal as well. Nobody reported that. Not at least in the U.S. I'm sure if you're in Europe, I think only one news agency covered that. And then if you are in any other country, India covered it for sure. They saw it right away because they're in their current kind of hubbub with them. As far as Taiwan, that's a whole nother story. If they take Taiwan, do you think we would actually step in and would this start WW3? That's what a lot of people think. But what do you guys think? It says China on Wednesday levied new threats at Taiwan and appears poised to escalate its military efforts to bring to heel what it considers a renegade province, following an attempt by the island nation's opposition party to bring it a closer cooperation with the U.S. It says Beijing was already angered by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's ongoing tour through Asia to shore up support for containing China before the Taiwanese Kuomintang Party, or KMT, on Tuesday launched a new effort for the government there to reestablish diplomatic ties with the U.S. So reconnect with us and get everything squared away. It says the only way forward is for the mainland to fully prepare itself for war and give Taiwan secessionist force a decisive punishment at any time. So that's pretty clear. I mean, that's, most people will say, and this is what I hear all the time, is saying, oh, they talk like this all the time. In 2020, with everything that has gone on, with all of the things that were unexpected, do you think that it is at least, say, I don't know, responsible to prepare for the worst? I just feel like the military drills, the government drills all the time. They get ready for any scenario. They even do alien scenarios of little green men coming down because it's responsible. If they're the ones in charge of protecting us, they're supposed to be doing their due diligence and preparing for anything. But yet, as a civilian, that's what they call us, which I'll get into later. Somebody tweeted civilians shouldn't have this, shouldn't have that. Why shouldn't we? Why are we looked at like we're crazy if we prepare for the worst? And that doesn't mean you need to sell your house and go live in the woods and grow your beard out. It means that you are prepared. It means that you are looking at some of the worst things that can happen. We're already, if you accept that we all have to die, it's the biggest fear. It's why people call stuff like this fear porn, is because they're afraid. They're afraid of looking at anything negative. And basically, they're hoping to skirt by their entire life up until 90. They're looking at that goal like, I just want to live a long, full life. I mean, when you get it down to the basic psychology of things, everybody wants to live a long, full life. Everybody wants to skirt by cancers and skirt by any kind of, accident, car accident, getting hit by a car. We're all just trying to skirt through life, right? Well, once you accept that we all die, and even better, if you have a faith and you believe you are going somewhere, even it doesn't matter what is or what isn't, if you have the faith that then this stops becoming scary. This more becomes, if you are the one patriarch or the matriarch in your family, you can protect your family. And I think that we are all getting close to it. People are going to, say this and that, but I can see, we work with companies that are helping them prepare for this kind of stuff. Why do you think they're doing so? As the secessionist force's arrogance continues to swell, the historical turning point is getting closer. That was the last quote out of Yu Jinxing, editor-in-chief in the Chinese state-sponsored Global Times. That was what it was the first time as well. Global Times, not China Times. The more trouble Taiwan creates, the sooner the mainland will decide to teach Taiwan independence forces a hard lesson. So, pretty clear there as well. What do you think about this? Do you think that Taiwan could become the cause? I think that it would come out of left field. If this is what pulled us into WW3, I think that would be a pretty wild kind of wild card because most people thought it would have been the Middle East or somewhere here or there or one of our proxy conflicts that we are already in, kind of dragging us back in and dragging the whole world in. That's a thing. Nobody really sees these things coming, but when you look at history, you can see the things that led up to each world conflict. And if you look back at WW2, at WW1, and even the Civil War, you've seen the same things happen that are happening right now. Even the politicization, I think I got it that time, of the flag, saying that one group represents the flag and that flag represents this or that. That's happened in all of the conflicts. And somehow it keeps returning back to normal for 30 years, and then it happens again, and it happens again. It looks more close to what happened during the civil conflict with the even just the flag. Right now, it is a sheer dividing. Why would this want to happen? Why would this be a thing? I think that there's people with more money than the government that are above presidents and above leaders in government. These people are way above. We're talking about billionaires that have as much money as the U.S. has, per capita. GDP, whatever you want to call it. More money than the entire United States. In fact, we're in debt. More money than all of that. And these people own the biggest corporations that enslave us, that choose how we survive, choose the prices on all the items that we have. There's a very slight few, and they don't care about you. They don't care about your life. They don't care if you pass on and go up to Father soon at all. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your grandkids. They don't care about anything. They care about their pockets, and they care about their next private jet or power, mainly. And there's a couple examples that I wouldn't share here on the tube, but there are some pretty big examples I just found out, too, of these guys and how they act and how they'll do something that's just purely disgusting, straight up for power. What do you guys think, though? Mersa1, I see you. Love my Marfoogle fam. Thank you so much for the Ninja Guinea. Fire Schmitz, thank you as well. And then it looks like Grace for You Too did one as well. We trust your gut. Thank you. And then here's what I was talking about yesterday, and we actually have the actual article to back it up. T-Man's nuclear football briefcase that holds doomsday missile launch codes is seen traveling to the hospital with him. It says that DT's nuclear football briefcase containing the launch codes for America's nuclear arsenal remains at the president's sides as he battles CV in the hospital. Now, of course, this is an article that is a couple days old, and this is what we were talking about. During that whole thing where, again, I want to bring up the video where it's all floating. It's the same room that supposedly the next video came out, which the next video was locked off, nothing was moving. It appeared he was on a boat. The whole thing was floating. And that would say to any filmmaker, anybody who's ever done any kind of standing behind the camera, that was a stabilized lens on a boat. And it was compensating for the movement of the boat. And it was just so slight. There's no other way. If you're hand holding, first off, that wouldn't happen. And then the second video would be the same. If you had a gimbal, then it would actually compensate for that. And it would make it straight. If you were on a boat, a gimbal would be better than what they did, which was a tripod with an actual camera setup, most likely with a telephoto lens to social distance, and then be 10 feet away. Somebody said, oh, it's a dick move that you busted that out. I don't blame you for saying that. And if you first look at it and go, well, Marf just, I actually jokingly said, oh, yeah, the president just said, dang it, Marfoogle News caught me. I'm on a sub. I'm on the aircraft carrier. All the other countries look at every single video, just as we analyze Xi Jinping, every single speech, every single appearance. If he appears at a 7-Eleven and eats a hot dog, which they don't have there, but if he does that, we have people in NSA and CIA that analyze that. And they're looking at every little move that the president does, looking at what he's wearing and how he's dressing for that day, what his mood is, who he talks to, who he shakes hands with, if he looks off to the left or the right. There's people analyzing that all the time. So the boat video, this is the more that I am finding out about what has happened over the last week, the more that I think that was on purpose. That was think about this. This is common sense, people. 2 doomsday planes. The controlled media puts it all over the place. We saw 2 doomsday planes. If it's so normal, they of course reported it to make it unnormal, right? To make people know, hey, there's doomsday planes on the East Coast and the West Coast. E-6B plane, Mercury planes, right? You've got the floating picture that makes it look like he's on a sub or a boat. You've got his kind of weird wording in the video. And you have him purposely sighted with the nuclear football. It's almost like that was a threat. Like, hey, we're off, the president's safe, we're ready to go. Maybe something happened behind the scenes. Maybe one of our planes got shot down by China or Russia and it all got covered up. Do you guys know that actually does happen? Again, we've had many instances where we've gotten close to nuclear conflict over the last, however many decades. And what ends up happening is they use the red phone, they call each other, they say, oh, shot down your plane, oh, sorry, that's too bad, I'll send you a bouquet of flowers, sorry about that, we got to cover it up, we can't tell the news, that kind of stuff. That happens all the time. I'm assuming that it happens all the time. I'm assuming it's a lot more than we know. And if you agree with me, let me know. Or if you disagree, if you think that we never come close to conflict, then let me know. But with this, I think something was going on here, and I think that they were sending out a message to somebody because they analyzed that boat footage and go, "He's on a boat. What the hell?" It's almost, this is like a mystery movie. Anyways, this black leather bag that they were carrying, I don't know why they showed this shot. Maybe one of them is in it.
It's the one with the white Navy uniform. It's in his right hand.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
If you zoom in, you'll see a little antenna popping up out of it. It's a pretty thick bag. It's 45 pounds.
Wow, that is incredible. So the leather bag in the right hand, that is the nuclear football. Isn't that freaky? And it has 3 locks on it. I'm assuming those are actual locks, like combo locks. But if they were just like pop, 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 there's probably a secondary system inside that they lock and unlock. Otherwise, some crazy could just run up and grab this, open it up. I'm sure it has fingerprint or facial recognition or some sort of setup, and there's probably got to be at least 2 people that do it. I don't know. But that being purposely sighted, some people say, oh, well, they always have it. Yes, they do. But you don't always see it. You don't always see it so blatantly kind of put out there. Usually it's put, it's not, they don't just straight up carry it all the time like people think. If you can correct me if I'm wrong. Otherwise, people would point it out all the time. Trek Prepper 53, you're right, Adam. Machina Opus says, Showtime. Ed G. Whalen, thank you so much. Canless Lupus, thank you over on YouTube, says, love you, Marth. Congrats on the new addition to the family. God bless you. Be ready. Something big is coming. God is bringing judgment on the darkness. Jesus is king. Canless Lupus, thank you so much for your support. And then Angela Marable, thank you for following. Richard LeBronc. And then Mary, thank you for joining. And then Keto Sis just followed. Thank you. As always, if you subscribe during the live show, you will get a shout out. All right. And then we have Winging It with Irish Colleen. I have not seen that nickname yet. Jared Till, got lots of new people here. Out of This World, Gloria Knepp says, lost the chat. You can always try backing out and going back in. Joshua Diaz, Hail Mary, One Love, Zippy Moons, A History Person. I'm glad you guys all could make it here. Robert Lazar. I guess that's like Bob Lazar there. Football is never more than a few steps behind the president. I do believe that. Trumpets are blasting. EA each other. Jamie Turnage, you don't have much time. I suggest you prepare. I believe that is definitely A true statement there. Have you ever seen the nuclear football before? I do believe it is actually always around the president. When he says it's usually a few steps away, that I believe is a 100% fact.
Yeah, it's noted that way. It's even on, there's pictures of it all over the place on Wikipedia and other places. The same bag, exact bag.
But the point is, I guess, if you make it, very broad and just kind of out there. I don't know if they do that every time. Maybe they do. But with the three together, something was up here. If you guys want to protect yourself, again, we have told you guys about the threats, but we also work with a company that used to be for consumers. Now they are so busy they can't, they're actually having to build bigger facilities. That is because they are now contracted with government forces. They've worked with DHS, DOD, and now they're officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. Now, when that order went in last year, or I believe actually in 2018, DHS officially wrote a letter saying that every single American needed 6 months to a year of food. That is because of the possibility of a complete blackout, an EMP, or a solar flare that would knock out our entire grid. After that letter, that resilience report was sent to the president immediately signed an executive order to harden our grid. These guys are the ones part of the system trying to help harden our grid. So again, you can actually get your own protection on your house, on your car, on your generator, even your solar system. A lot of people think they've got back if they have a solar system, but what if that fries too? You can get a different device for all of these. They are all slightly different, but they all do the same thing. They ground this signal before it can fry your device. So when it comes in, it can ground it very, very quickly. So again, that is marfooglenews.com/EMP. I highly recommend it. I don't know what else to say. Even if you don't go through us, if you do not want to support the show, this helps us. Go through somebody else. Go through a different creator that does it. Go through the company. Don't put our stuff in, or whatever you have to do. I highly recommend this. Because, and then people say, well, what if the grid never comes back up? If the grid never comes back up, you will have your generator, you'll have your solar system, you'll have your house, and all of your devices will work inside your house, so you can restart and keep going. I do also recommend, though, to get fuel and to get a generator, and get a good one. In fact, Dex, we should even have an episode with somebody like actually a panel. We should have a panel with Alaska Prepper and Survival Living and all those folks. Talk about it. I know that you know quite a bit. You've been kind of looking into different generators, dual fuels, things like that. So we should have an episode all about that, as far as generators and what to get and what not to get, so you don't get the wrong stuff. All right.
Yeah,
again,
it's pretty complex, but yeah, absolutely.
That's marfooglenews.com/EMP. Let's take our first caller, and then we're going to get into the moderate to severe CV-19 infections that may reduce fertility in men. What doesn't it do? Let's see here. Ken.
Hello.
Ken, first-time caller, wants to talk about the hypersonic missiles, calling from California. Ken, what's going on?
Yes. Yeah, those hypersonic missiles. I was wondering, do we have any military hardware that those hypersonic missiles could be used against our country?
I guess, do you have any idea? I mean, well, we have our entire country. It could be used against us. But what do you mean by that? Like,
I think, for instance, I mean, do you remember the recent release of the Tic Tac UFO footage when that special radar was able to lock on to that UFO that was moving so fast? I think that radar was made specifically for those Tic Tac UFOs, because I don't believe any of our quote unquote enemies have the technology that could move that fast. And I've also been listening to Linda Moulton Howe, and what she says is that there are advanced civilizations that also live on this planet, and I believe that all of the UFOs that we have been seeing, since World War II with the Foo Fighters, I mean, there are depictions of UFOs in medieval paintings. We know that there are cave paintings and petroglyphs of UFOs and aliens that go back thousands of years. So whatever these beings are, they have been interacting with us for literally thousands of years. So I don't believe, and also this is because I'm listening to Linda Moulton Howe, I don't believe they're visiting. I don't believe these UFOs are visiting. I believe, just as she says, that there are several advanced civilizations that live in the parts of the oceans that we don't explore, and also deep earth caverns. And they pilot and control all of the UFOs that we've been seeing for years. And that's the big secret that Stephen Greer and, the Tom DeLonge's group, that they don't actually want us to know.
So you're saying
all these missiles.
Wait a second. So
it's for them, it's not.
So, but I know it's an awesome theory. So, like the movie, what was the movie underwater with I want to say Sigourney Weaver? Abyss, where they went deep down and they ended up finding this entire other world. It was a lit up alien world, and it was all so deep underneath, and they ended up taking these people, abducting them, and bringing them down there. Great movie, by the way.
Right. Remember?
But so you're saying something like that.
Fravor was on the Rogan podcast. He talked about that missile that they were trying to get, and that something came up out of the ocean or from deep under the water and took that missile. Well, whatever took that missile, didn't come and visit us from another planet or another dimension or from the future. Whatever took that missile lives down in the ocean. You know what I mean? And for years, there's also been a lot of reports of the native military guys, people in submarines, talking about seeing, under USOs. So whatever these USOs are, they're not down there to study our whales, and they're not coming from the future or from a different dimension just to swim around in our oceans. I believe that since we've only explored less than 5% of our oceans, at the 95% that we don't explore is their territory.
There's something to be said about the ocean, and I've always kind of wondered about the deep down. I even think that something like Loch Ness people make sound goofy, but as far as animals living underneath and not being very elusive, a dinosaur like that could survive. Say if what knocked most of them out is a huge flood, something like that, as long as it had food, it could actually survive. And people think it's goofy when, we have crocodiles and alligators and things like that survived, hippopotamus, all these other things that kind of came out of that era and evolved. I do think that there's something to be said about the creepy stuff that happens out in the ocean. What about Hawaii? You remember Hawaii, the false missile alert? What if something came out and grabbed that missile from the ocean and saved Hawaii or something?
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. We know, like there was that one Japanese pilot, who saw something that was like 2 miles wide, or 2 miles long or something like that, or even some of these long cigar-shaped UFOs that we see them coming in and out of our lakes and oceans. We see them going into our volcanoes and coming out of our volcanoes. You know what I mean? And this is not something that just happens once or twice. I watch these YouTube channels. There's this guy that does paranormal activity. He points out how he uses Google Earth to locate possible undersea civilizations, or what he says, they're undersea civilizations. He has this one where there's these giant tubular pipes off the coast of Baja California, by San Benito Island. There are these tube-like structures. They're 12 miles long and just a mile wide. But you can use Google Earth and check it out.
Well, it's definitely a spooky theory. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go? We did run out of time.
Yes, one other thing that he says, that imagine that if there was an advanced civilization that built civilizations under the sea, right? And they built them so long ago that they had no idea the surface monkeys would ever have the technology to detect them.
I like it. Surface monkeys.
Know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you know, every theory is welcome here. That's why we ask questions. You know, things that, you know, now are fact seemed like a just crazy off in the future thing just 9 or 10 months ago. So I get you. Ken, thank you so much for calling in tonight. And don't be a stranger. Call in again, okay?
Definitely will do.
All right. You have a great day. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. That was Ken from California. Obviously, a lot of theories that have surrounded kind of the sea and underwater, and there was even videos of the things kind of popping up out of the sea. There was a video that came out last year that circulated, and it was this weird dome glowing thing that raised out of the water, and most actually thought it was U.S. technology, that it was some sort of kind of circular round submarine technology, and it came out. The movie Abyss, this movie was such kind of a mind blower, because back then the graphics were amazing, and it really did kind of immerse you literally underwater into this whole world, and in the end it's like this shocking twist that that these aliens are down there. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's absolutely insane, or do you think that it's a possibility, or do you think that that's just silly talk? Either way, everybody has their opinions, and I respect all of them. Okay, let's see here. Let's go here. Bam. Let's get back into the news. We are going to talk about this very briefly. If you want to read the rest of this article, we're going to fly through some more news because we got some important stuff here. Moderate to severe CV-19 may reduce fertility in men, study finds. One thing is that I just keep hearing this. That would be whale sounds. Because it seems like everything is caused by this damn thing. It was designed to basically do everything. You can finish that on the website, marfooglenews.com. Airports begin testing CV passport. That's right, a CV passport that will be recording whether someone has been V before travel. Over 6,000 scientists and doctors have signed a petition against CV lockdown measures, urging that those not in the risk category should be able to get on with their lives as normal. It says that lockdown rules in both the US and UK are causing irreparable damage. A lot of people agree with that statement because, honestly, people have lost their businesses, people have lost their lives, separate from the people losing their lives from. It says those have signed include professors from the world's leading universities. Oxford University professor Dr. Sunatra Gupta, big name, was one of the authors and of this open letter that was sent with the petition, along with Harvard University's Dr. Martin Koldorf, which we've talked about here on the show, and Stanford's Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. We've actually talked about all three of these different doctors in different times. These are three big names in the, I guess, collegiate, kind of fame, right? These are famous professors that pop in a lot of different areas. And I'm just surprised that they're all three kind of on the same boat. Maybe the same boat as T-Man. It says it declares that social...
Hey, Adam?
Yes.
If you hit the original article there, you'll get the actual article for that headline. Sorry. Sometimes it pulls the wrong thing.
Okay, let me try to grab that.
Not to derail that topic you were going down, but it was kind of interesting with the article.
Okay, so again, this is it seems like it's pulling up the one that it didn't pull up the one that I added. Bill Gates forecasts return to normal life by end of 2021. Hopes only on Western vaccines. It says the Microsoft founder has long advocated for the speedy development and deployment of a vaccine against CV-19 and has largely ignored the first registered one, Sputnik V, developed and authorized in Russia back in August. Bill, founder of tech giant Micro, and Bill and Melinda has projected that wealthy countries will return to normal life by the end of 2021. Should these currently being developed by Western countries work and be deployed in a timely manner. Absolutely crazy here. By the end of 2021, so an entire year more. And this is like, again, just to quote this is a best case scenario. Wow. Best case, end of 2021. I would say if you guys don't want to be tracked or traced, I would highly check out off-grid bags. You put your phone and all of your devices in them, and you go off-grid. That's marfooglenews.com/edec. These are Faraday bags for your devices. You can use the savings code Marfoogle. Again, that helps the show. It helps our independent broadcast. We're going to go to the next caller. In fact, we have that. But first, what do you guys think about this? As far as, do you think that this is going to be another year, 2 years, 3 years? Or is it going to be indefinite? In fact, I'm going to ask the chat right now. I'm going to turn the chat back on, the chat box. One, if you think that this is going to be done and over with in the next year. Two, if you think it's going to be done in the next 5 years. Or three, if you think that this has changed the world forever. And I mean indefinite. Our worlds have now changed and social distancing is the new norm. Then you can pop it up here. And in fact, I'll put it front and center there. 1, for it's going to be resolved in the next year. 2, in the next 5 years. 3, indefinitely. Doc Bill, thank you for your support over on YouTube. Bill Clinton once lost the nuclear codes for months, and a comedy of errors kept anyone from finding out. Okay, Doc Bill, that's hilarious. If that is true, I want to look that up. That is great. Let's see here. Bill Clinton once lost the nuclear codes. I don't want to repeat it unless it's fact. No way. It is legit. It's ABC News everywhere. That is pretty freaking hilarious. This says, Bill Clinton once lost the nuclear codes for months, and a comedy of errors kept anyone from finding out. That is, of course, again, the football. That's actually a better look at the bag there. That exactly proves my point. That's scary. That is absolutely scary. What do you want to guess that they didn't lose it? That something weird happened? Like they were doing some sort of weird thing. Who knows? Let's see here. Grace, for you too. Thank you so much. Again, all of your support. MRSA1, thank you for your support. Netty2550. Craziness. Okay, let's see here. We actually have Mr. White on the phone. Mr. White, you are live on Marfoogle News. You, of course, have an article here as well, it looks like. Mr. White, you can go ahead. All right, it looks like we have Mr. White trying to get in. I'll pull up the article in the meantime. It says, New York police officer an Army reservist charged with spying on Tibetan immigrants for China.
Hey, Adam. Mr. White is live now.
All right, perfect. Mr. White, you are live on Marfoogle News. I'm going to be pulling up this article that you gave us. What's going on with this? Maybe.
And Adam, his line is clear on our end. I don't know if maybe he's muted on his end, but he's clear here. Mr. White, we can't hear you, so check your phone.
Make sure to check.
Sorry, there we go. Hi, how's it going?
That's all right. Mr. White, what's going on?
How's it going? My bad.
Okay, so explain this article here. New York City police officer and Army reservist charged with spying on Tibetan immigrants for China. What's going on with this?
That pretty much explains itself. But do you think that's what the only people that they're spying on or gathering information on? And what really, really concerns me is that I'm former military, and you're supposed to trust the person that you're in combat with, the person to your right and left. And if these people are ending up to be Chinese spies, that really makes me uncomfortable.
So, again, this is part of the, I want to say the New York police are one of the largest standing armies in the world. If you consider them, armed and whatever. Yes, because of how many they have serving, or at least before all of this happened. So you're saying you're worried about them being spies. And are you saying in general?
No, if we already have one, or they're saying they arrested one New York police officer for being a spy, do you think that's the only one?
Oh, absolutely not. We have sleepers here all over the place. We've actually did a show talking about how many sleepers are from Yan and all sorts of different countries, especially China.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that is.
It just makes me feel uncomfortable that they are police and in the military too. So these are the people that are supposed to be protecting our country are ending up discovering to be spies. That's craziness.
Well, it's like Red Dawn in the movie Red Dawn, or at least the new one. I can't remember if the original had it, but they showed them landing in parachutes in Wallingford in Seattle, and the mayor actually knew about it. They show a scene where he tells his son to stay with him because he's all good with the military and that they're going to have a position. The thing is if we ever got invaded, you would see that certain politicians would have set themselves up so they survive or actually get kind of a job or a position once the takeover happens. I bet the same would happen if we invaded China or if we invaded Russia. There would be certain Russians or certain Chinese that, of course, their people who would turn on their own country and join the cause of the invaders. The thing is people don't think this is a reality.
That's sad.
We're so far away from conflict that people don't think that this could turn on us. There's people all around you. You don't know who you're next to.
Oh, I know, exactly. And during World War II, they asked the Japanese why you never invaded the mainland of America, and they said it's because you need a superior navy, and behind every blade of grass, there's an American with a gun. And how many people? Sorry about that. But how many politicians are trying to take those away right now? And we don't have the largest navy anymore. China does.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. Well, and again, they were going to catch up, and now all of a sudden they are the largest navy. Pretty insane, if you ask me.
And getting better.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Well, Mr. White, is there anything else you want to say before you go?
No, that was it. I saw that come up, and I had to bring it up to the fan.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling, and be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. Let's see here. We've got... Don't know if I... Okay, I think it is. It isn't registering fully on my end. YouTube, Matronista Forever says, let me explain. Every president has an official body double. Look at the pre-post pics. Matronista, I believe you. I 100% believe you. I know for a fact that not only do they have body doubles, President Obama, Clinton, all these guys, they've had one that was fixed to be a body double, like surgery, everything. People would go, well, how would you get surgery to look like somebody else? You know, that's a permanent thing. Yeah, because you're dealing on the highest level of security ever. They can always get security later to look like somebody else, but at one point, you're talking about a lot of countries do this. You have countries that do this for royalty. There are people that do surgeries to look like people. You think of these celebrities that try to look like Kim Kardashian or something, like that woman off of 90 Day Fiancé that did all of this surgery to look like Kim Kardashian. She doesn't look like her. But again, they pick people that are already strong resemblance. They say, this is your life. You're going to get money for the rest of your life. You've got a career. You've got a retirement. You're good. You're going to have to do surgery, make your ears the same, do everything. So they pick somebody who already has a strong resemblance, and they've got to find a doppelganger who is somewhat educated, some this or that. They train them on how to walk, how to talk, everything. And that is what is absolutely crazy about that is a real thing. I don't know why I didn't see any of these. Dabadoo, thank you for being so early. Love your show. Well, thank you, Dabadoo. I appreciate that. Matronista Forever says, just wanted to say every president has a body double. Again, yes. No, I absolutely know that for a fact. Think about it. We have two beasts, the presidential limos, and they go all at the same time. When a president goes somewhere, they take two beasts because one is a decoy and one is the real one. You never know which one the president's in. You've got two Air Force Ones flying at all times when they fly. When they fly two. That's because one is a decoy. You never know which one the president is in. As far as the actual president himself, I mean, that's a given. Aloha, congrats on baby Jack. Much love. Think about the, what do you call it? Thank you so much, Rihanna S. And it's nice to see you. You've been here for 2 years over. It's one thing to think about, you know, kind of Mission Impossible, ripping off the rubber mask. But that kind of stuff is real. Not the rubber mask that they rip off, but you're talking about the effort they take to make people look like somebody else. There's even documentaries about some of the disguises even 30, 40 years ago were really advanced. Some of the gadgets they used. You know, James Bond is actually somewhat realistic in a sense. Not how everything always works out for their favor, but some of the technology, the secret little cameras, the tiny little pinhole things, they had all sorts of gadgets for spies all the way back as long as we've had them. But yeah, that's pretty nuts. Let's see. Edwin Lopez, thank you for the support there. Thank you for the super chat. And then advanced mermaids. Just as other mammals evolved go to the sea, ancient humanoids could have evolved to do the same, more sense than not. I get what you're saying there. Saying mermaids could completely be real too. It's a relatively sensical evolution, since they say we came from fish. I don't know. I would have to look into it. I know my sister's really into mermaids, like real life spotting of mermaids. I would have to ask her. She's done a lot more research on that. I do think giants once roamed the earth. That's a crazy thought that not a lot of people say that's cuckoo. But that is not from the bones or anything else. That's from the Bible. Let's see here. Not from YouTube videos, but from the Bible. And if they lived 900 and something years, I was just thinking, must have been, I mean, scientifically bigger. Let's see here. Okay, so we've got hurricane news, and I'm going to show you, I got a link here. Let's see. Delta has blown up here. Let's see. Delta exploded in 15 hours into a Cat 4 storm, which we talked about yesterday. I'm going to pull up an article here. Let's see. Okay. Wow, look at this. Okay, so it says that's a lot of blue tarps. Recent photo over Lake Charles from the previous Hurricane Laura. If they get hit again, it's going to be bad. So these are all the people without roofs, with their house basically covered with tarps. They get hit with another one, they're done. There's not going to be much to salvage. Dex, I see you found that picture.
I just got that picture, and it was on another platform. I couldn't give you the link, so I slapped it up there real quick. If you click on it, it's a tall picture. I think somebody took it from an airplane, like tall on their phone.
Wow.
It is amazing how many blue tarps are out there, which we take for granted. If you don't live in a hurricane zone and you've not lived through a hurricane, you would take it for granted because you don't realize it. But the people that do live through them, it's actually very common. Like the roofs are gone for a long time and everybody's got tarps because it takes forever to get all these roofers in to actually do the work.
Wow.
And yeah, so to be hit twice or 3 times, I mean, that's pretty bad. And that hurricane that I think it's in the article, it hit the peninsula where Cancun is in Mexico, and now it's going straight up through the Gulf, and it's going to basically go right in between, it's currently projected in between Texas and Louisiana area, which is all in the same general area where the last hurricane, went through. So, and it's going to go in a lot faster. But, it could actually, the question is, does it intensify? It went in through Cancun as a 4, which is huge. It didn't settle back down. But there is a good chance it could actually intensify it back to a 4 or maybe even worse, a 5.
That is incredible. I'm surprised that obviously Laura was horrible. That many roofs got ripped off or damaged. Wow, that is incredible. As far as it says, it could be stronger as it changes the Gulf Coast. It says, let's see here. Actually, no. We don't have it did it again. That's okay. Next one. The country's lost its mind. Polls. Just to go back, I just want to pray for a moment for everybody who is in the path of Delta. I just really hope that everybody can just set aside a 5-second period and pray for the people that are in the line of that storm, and pray that it does not get as bad as they say it will be. All right, back into it. The country's lost its minds. Polls warning of a civil war. Violence shows deep partisan chasm over election. Of course, in the next month, we are going to see a lot of crazy stuff. And my prediction, this isn't saying this is going to happen. This isn't saying in 14 days this is going to happen. My prediction is we might see some very, very insane stuff in the next 30 days. If this goes the wrong way for half the country, look at how much effort, look at how much time, look at how much money they have spent. Look at how much media time, look at how much stuff they've put into getting somebody out. If they do not, if they lose again, I can only imagine what is going to happen.
Adam?
Yes.
The thing that caught me about this, I think you and I, we've reported this before. It's been talked about before, but it was more fringe, right? I mean, it was in the media, but it was much more fringe. Look at who wrote this. Right, this is about as mainstream as it comes.
USA
and for
Today.
This to be a headline, right? This is a headline going out in the complete main of mainstream.
That is absolutely insane. So, just to cover what it actually says, it says a new poll shows a large swath of Americans harbor deep reservations about the results weeks before day and are concerned about what actions people might resort to as a consequence. Well, of course, I think most people right now think that we are in for one hell of a time. Everybody agrees. I don't have to do a, hey, press 1 if you think this is true, or 2. I know that almost all of you, if you're especially here, are thinking that something major is about to happen. Not only that, either way it goes is going to be crazy. I think it will be less brutal, though, if Mr. Joe wins. I think that it will. I don't think much craziness will happen at all. I think people will be disappointed, but it won't be the same flip-flop like as in 2016, where it lasted for 4 years. If that's what happens, that's what happens. Because it's 4 years, and then boom, you can get back out of there. But I know people have strong feelings about it. Some of my favorite people in this group, in my Foogle fam, they would just as much like for this current president to be out of there. And I respect everybody's opinion on that. I honestly do. So, just craziness. All right, and then we've got Lone Wolves Northern. Thank you guys for being here. Dustin Shepard, hey, nice to see you again. D. Deckard and Bob Dobbs. Bob Dobbs, I love that name. Bob Dobbs. West Virginia Prepared Mind, happily modding. We've got the Ann Lynn Show. Melissa Bush. Ann Lynn, I love you guys. I'm hoping you guys are creating all sorts of awesome stuff. St. Louis couple indicted for waving guns at protesters. Again, this was a crazy one. I'm going to let you guys read this yourself. I am going to read what actually... Dex, if you want to hit this real quick, and then I'm going to hit the Catch Me Up story.
Yeah, this story, we all know what's going on with this couple, right? We know the story about the people coming through their property and them defending themselves, and then the DA was after them. Well, the grand jury actually indicted them yesterday, so they now are going to have to face, a trial for, I guess, the offense of brandishing. But I think in reality, what it appears they did was defend their home. So. We'll have to see what comes more of this. I just thought it was definitely, it's been in the limelight. We've heard a lot about this couple. They even spoke at the RNC and other places. But now they have been charged or have been indicted.
Wow, incredible. Again, you can access this I'm trying to say article. I was going to say application. Article on marfooglenews.com. Thank you. I'll call in about Giants soon. I liked your last call. I would love to hear your next. S. Nort says, I'm bummed. Missed most of the show, but I'll replay it as soon as I can. Hey, S. Nort, thank you so much for watching the replay. Thank you for being one of the many that watch the replay the next day. For you guys, I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking around. Regardless of if we're live or not. Open House, Texas says, friend in the military says, we are in heightened alert due to foreign threats. Any thoughts? Open House, Texas, that's just one of many confirmations that I've had recently. I think that we are in super heightened alert. But, they're not going to tell anybody. That's why I'm telling you guys, just prepare. Do your due diligence. Think about what you can do to better your chances in any kind of event. If you're on the coasts, just because the coasts are more likely to have the possibility of something happening to the coast is higher in general, whether it be from natural occurrences or from something else. They don't invade from Texas. Again, if that is even a slight possibility, I think you should have it in the back of your head so you don't freeze when it happens. And you have a plan worked out just for anything. Anything. Please get prepared, people. Please. Open House, Texas, I appreciate your comment. GAV1507, we need to back Taiwan 100% veteran. Thank you for your service. Salute. And then who else believes we should back Taiwan 100%? I believe there's probably a lot of people. Anything that's anti-China, honestly, I think a lot of people would support. All right, and then thank you everybody over there on YouTube. Redbird, congratulations on baby Jack. Me and the hubby have 4 girls. We were rooting for you. Well, Redbird, I'm super happy. I only have 3, and now I've finally got my boy. Teresa Selby, voting is an illusion of change. Teresa, there's probably something to back that up. I am. Again, I would love to hear that. Alex G. Zeta Rex Orbis, Advanced Mermaids. That is cool. I will have to look into that. Okay, we are going to get back into it. We are cutting close. Dex, how much time do we have before this debate? There's about half an hour.
Adam, yeah, we got about 25 minutes before, or right around 30 minutes before the debate starts.
Okay, so we only took 2 or 3 callers today because we are going to be getting ready to go over there. I think the debate is extremely important. I think everybody should be watching it. I don't know. I was almost thinking about playing it and then cutting off to YouTube and playing it on D Live, but again, probably not. Again, you guys should all be watching. If there's like a Fox News chat or whatever, I go in and I make sure to represent. I usually put hashtag FoogleFam or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty funny because if you say that, other people in Fox News, there's 40,000 people in there. You'll see FoogleFam. It's pretty awesome. What was that?
Oh, I've seen that. I was going to say I've seen that before. It's so awesome when you do that or other people do it. I love it, Adam. Hey, the thing I was thinking about though with this debate, are you expecting, like in my mind, I'm expecting more of a skilled, tight, fight from 2 people that are really, almost like a knife fight or something that's just really skilled, as opposed to last time seemed like this, ridiculous street brawl, right?
Their advisors, I guarantee you both sides they're telling them you cannot do what you did last time, this and that. I bet you they've watched videos of their last debate, how they can improve. Just like our caller last night that, did that kind of stuff. I guarantee you they're being advised on everything. I know that Joe and Donald, they both went back and forth and interrupted each other. They both did the same thing. So
yeah,
we'll see.
And this one
is
Kamala and Pence. And did you hear that they put up a screen in between them now? They literally made a last minute change and put up plexiglass in between them.
What do you guys think? Do you think that will make it more likely for them to talk trash about the person since they don't have to look at them? I think that
they can see them, but isn't that weird? Like your opponent they moved him from 7 to 10 feet, I think, or maybe 12 feet, but then they put up this giant piece of plexiglass.
Maybe it's like the dating game. You remember the dating?
Yeah, it really.
the where my dream vice president would be mixed, and I am. Funny enough, I don't know. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. Mersa One, thank you for all your support tonight. I am gonna read your article here. Dex always tries to get me caught up. All right. Otherwise, by the way, before I do that, make sure to support us by getting Nord. If you are already working with a virtual private network, you can always switch to Nord. They actually are one of the highest rated out there, period. Again, you can go and get Nord from marfooglenews.com/VPN. Especially right now, there's more cyber hackers out there than I want to say people on their computers. That's probably an exaggeration, but again, right now with lockdowns and different people working from home, cyber hackers are multiplying like bunnies. So make sure to go get some protection. Virtual private network, you turn it on, you turn it off. It's super easy. Once you download it, you don't have to know anything about computers to do it. And it helps support the show. You can save up to 68%, I believe, on a 2-year plan. So almost 70%. Angela 4110, I see your name all over the place. Thanks for all the support tonight. Baldy Locks Awake, thank you so much. Shy the Coffee, Patriska, Patreon Nomad. We have Panterbite 14. Thank you so much for following over on D Live, Lady D Music. I appreciate you as well. Jen Lay Awake, I hope that you and Baldy Locks and High Velocity and everybody else are awesome. I really appreciate all of you guys. Lady D, KCH3, and then Disclosure TV, great YouTuber, says Marf and Dex for president. Well, thank you. A lot of people have been saying that for like 3 years, though. Marf for president or Marf and Dex. No thanks. David Perry, thank you for your support. You can always write a message there and get let me get to know you. Say a soliloquy, whatever. Okay, so this is the article that Dex brought up to try to... I never know what this one is, so this is always a surprise. He tries to choke me up here, so let's see. This dad cycled 200 miles from Scotland to England for charity, riding his 8-year-old daughter's pink bike. It says a determined dad has cycled a staggering 200 miles while riding his 8-year-old daughter's tiny pink bike. It says over 6 days, Wesley Hammett pedaled from Glasgow, Scotland to Manchester, England on a $26 bike with 12-inch wheels. The dad of 2 wanted to raise funds for various charities and hospitals which were close to his heart after he lost his granddad to cancer last year. It says he originally planned to cycle 1,250 miles from Russia to his home in Lancashire. It says, but due to the pandemic, he was forced to backpedal and turn to the drawing board. He decided he would cycle from Glasgow to Manchester while riding a comically small bike. His 2 young daughters learned to ride on as a laugh. It says, after a grueling cycle, which included a 6-hour-long stretch and 8 busted tires, the cargo handler managed to drag the 12-inch wheels to his home near Manchester on September 21st. Wesley said, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. Hell, I wasn't sure if the bike was going to make it all the way. I felt like I was going to die during certain stretches, but it was all worth it. He endured grueling pain and reached peaks of as high as 1,350 feet at Shap Shamit in Cambria, England, which he says, with understatement, the bike wasn't built for. I kept pushing because anytime there was an uphill climb, there must be a downhill climb. I felt like a little kid going down. I couldn't stop if I tried. It was scary, but amazingly fun. Because I don't think they don't even have handbrakes. They have... Oh, man, they have, that's right, you have to push back on the back pedal to brake. Yeah, that would be scary yeah, Wesley was fundraising for Macmillan Cancer Support, Christie Charitable Fund, British Heart Foundation, and Weston Hospital's MFT charity. Get this, he raised just over £8,300 or $10,730 so far, and still hopes to make the trek from Russia to Manchester next spring. Wow, that's incredible. So he made over $10,000 for charity by riding his bike. Would you do that ride for $10,000? Especially $10,000 for charity. That guy's a badass. See, this is the kind of guy that I do appreciate the charity aspect of this. So earlier I was talking about there was a big controversy with LOL dolls. I recently saw, so I didn't know much about LOL dolls, and I actually bought one for my daughter at least 2 or 3 times, and then I started to look into them. My daughter's LOL doll actually has a mask, and it's a special limited edition one that is actually more expensive unless you go to their partner Target, more expensive, and they donate $1 to charity to these different funds. Well, I posted and I said this is disturbing that little girls, their number one toy of their age group is this little doll that you dress up, and it has a mask, and it's like, whatever, and it says MGA Cares in it, and it basically they donate some money. there were a few Foogle fam that obviously saw the first thing they see is of course they're donating to charity. That is the great part. So you do see that. But again, a lot of people don't end up looking at kind of the underlining thing. The owner of the company is Isaac Larian from this Iran-tied family, just absolute creepy ties from Cal State all the way into these dirty things, tied to the guys who destroyed Toys R Us, and then in the same group that was trying to buy it. So destroy it, then try to buy it for cheap, which that whole thing, if you know the Toys R Us, how that happened, it was really disturbing, and that's exactly what's happening to our entire economy. On top of that, he is also the one in charge of the Bratz line, the extremely sexualized dolls there. Not to mention the controversy with the LOL dolls having genitalia. They had little holes and a little thing and little, everything. And they also had PBs and on top of that, when you put these things in cold water, secret hidden lingerie forms on their naked body. So you're talking about fishnet stockings with little clips up to the side. I mean, we're talking like straight lingerie when you put them in cold water. That's disturbing to me. And I don't care if they do to charity. One thing, my point was to this, and I love that these people are looking for the positive in everything. That's great. Jeffrey EpiPen, that guy donated, huge philanthropist, donated to so many different causes. Is he a good guy? Mr. Gates, biggest philanthropist in the world. Do you love him? Do you think he's good on the inside? Maybe he is. Who knows? Maybe he knows something we don't and he's trying to save the earth or something. Who knows, right? Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. Lots of donations. Lots of big donations. And what was funny is I thought it was crazy is all three of them donated to the same place that gentleman did. Not to mention a lot of these charities, these ones, again, I had a problem, and the only reason I know is I did Cars for Veterans and all these different things. I had to be careful what charity we supported with our T-shirts because I did all of the proceeds to charity. And I realized that all of them have scandals. All of them have scams. All of them have stories that show out, and they only give 1% of the money. So, again, make sure if you see something, if it's donating to charity, make sure you're supporting the right thing. In this guy's case, you really can't really go wrong with that. Maybe if you find out that the charity's not giving it to the heart victims or to the cancer patients, but again, that was my point on that, and I just wanted to explain. A lot of people get offended if you don't like their stuff or whatever, but I just had to tell you guys, that was pretty disturbing to look at Isaac's line and lineage there and connections with Clinton. Whew. All right, you guys.
All I was thinking about, Adam, was like you riding your daughter's bike, from Seattle to Portland.
That's about the same distance, right? I would not.
That would be pretty funny.
I wouldn't ride it down the street. Those things are, yeah. I don't know how he did it. Like, physically, I don't know how he actually did it. Well, thank you, Dex. You have been awesome today. Again, we will be having a regular show tomorrow. The debate is going to be in about 20 minutes, so I hope everybody's going to be joining for that. Dex, do you have anything out, Dex out or anything to say?
No, a lot of people thought I was sick yesterday, and I don't know if my voice is still off, but you guys, I'm not sick. I just a little hoarse from flag waving. We'll leave it at that.
Well, if you take the miracle drugs, you'll be better in one day.
Yeah, I'm just working with lemon water. I think, that's what works for singers, right? You're a singer,
I absolutely. One thing too, T-Man basically said that he took the miracle injection and that it's all good and he wants to make it free for everybody. What do you guys think about that? Tell me on Twitter. Follow me over at Marfoogle. What do you think about that? Because even the most hardcore followers of T-Man are emailing me saying, what is he doing? Why is he making it that way. What do you guys think? I would love to hear your opinion. He basically went in with CV. The next day, he was better. Just gone. So is it a miracle thing, or is this a way to get people to take the, I would love to hear your honest opinion about that. All right. Thank you, guys. Much love. It is now time for the shoutro. Dusty Digger, I appreciate you. Welcome to this crazy world, Jack. Exactly. JR Pale Horse. If Joe gets in it, it will be a few weeks before conflict. I believe the Second Amendment will be the cause. Very well could be. Crazy L, thank you as well for your support. Says congrats on your baby boy. It's now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout. Wait. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. I want to thank everybody here tonight, especially my peeps that have been here for a very, very long time. Thank you, Susan Donahue. I appreciate you. Gone Girl 777. Whether you guys are here or not, I'm thinking about you. Veteran Steve, my man. Thank you so much. Eschatar, Solar Doberman, High Velocity, Iggy Mom, Proud Grandma, Mary Double X, The Badger, Stelliti, Bears Eat Beach. You guys are all amazing. Getting us to 2,000 likes. By the way, those likes actually do help us recommend to other people. If you felt this was of value of you, please make sure you do press that like button. If you're watching the replay, it's not too late. It actually helps the next 5 days of it getting recommended to others. It would help me, it would help Dex, and it would help our kids. Thank you. High velocity, power in my JC, AA and Sandra in Texas. Gonna go back now, we wreck this. Hey, proud grandma and edgy wearing. Going back round and nobody swearing. Doing it, everybody now we caring. MF and the high velocity. Everybody loves it. We'll jam it. Hey, let's call it. Joe Master and solo double man riding. Going back around, do it now. Now I got to walk on the wall and do the talk and do it every day. Red bird, what they say, what they say. Oh, gotta walk, hold it, we down. Going right back, and now we round. None of they drunk and no debate now. 10 minutes left. Gonna go back, walk it down. 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 D-Live's mom takes #1 spot tonight, and wow, thank you so much. So far, D-Live's mom, holy moly. You know I'm going to be returning that the next stream. Thank you so much for your support. Mersa1, thank you so much as well. You are #2 tonight. Baldy Locks Awake, thank you for stepping into #3. Stormy Weather, thank you for #4. And As I Breathe, thank you all for your massive support tonight. I appreciate it. We, of course, got Chance Paladin doing mine over there. Johnny Doom, Channel Jammer, thank you all for being here. Dusty Digger, welcome. Thank you so much for your support. JR Pale Horse, nice to have you again. And thank you, Stormy Weather. Thank you so much, Gone Girl 777. Thank you, Veteran Steve. You have your own spot here. And thank you, Susan Donahue. Hope you're safe. I hope you're okay. Also, wanted to announce we did lose a couple of Marfoogle members. I am trying to find out who they were. We might have a couple dedicated episodes. I never like to hear that we lost somebody. I really do hope that the messages I just got were wrong. I love all you guys. I really do. Doesn't matter where we go now. Wanna really ride like my phone down. Going on, on, going back, go all the way down. D-Live's mom, thank you. lives, mama, na. The lives, mama, na. Mercy one, body locks away. Going right back now, you up and eat a cake. Gonna bring it back now, it's a bad day. Not when you're there, but when you're not. Gonna bring it right back now, and we rock with all them blue attires. On top of them outside emperors. Going back around now, how you say? The lives, mama, na. The lives, mama, na. Mercy one. Thank you, everyone. Gonna bring it right back now. Gonna do it like yo now. Thank you for the lemons and the jam. And the edgy well and the dam. Oh, solo double man and the drum master. Going right back and right past ya. Gonna do it, I know. Gotta go back like a Mr. Joshua. Gonna bring it right back and you don't know. Opposite time I know and I just follow. Lives, mama, na. The lives, mama, na. The lives, mama, na. The lives, mama, na. Satire, thank you for following. Welcome to the Foogle fam. We are the mafia, the one man me once that lady no keke. A J Red and no red thing. I'm gonna go rhyming rich and they bring with the candies bloopers. Got to go push us, gonna bring it back and I could do this. Randy Newman, with the bohos info. Hey, Lori D, gonna go back and now you see Miss Shelly over here. Gonna ring back and now they real. It's all Adam and I bring it back. I'm gonna do it like a jump and I go it back. A mercy one and a bum bum. 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 With the black grandma and the iPad mermaid. Gonna do it back and I go great. Like 50 shades of lame. All those are traitors will claim. A mercy one and a bum bum. A mercy one and a bum bum. Chest on open, now they go. On the doom and the rest they go. For my finger like YouTube eye. And the people's people the up a day. A mercy one and a bum bum. A mercy one and a bum bum. Why are these YouTube people always saying we predicted it? Because if you have common sense and you can see it too. You look outside your window and you say that doesn't make sense. The MSM never covers it and you knew from on the one. Hello, it doesn't take a genius, it doesn't take a psychic to predict that we about to go to war. Oh yes, nor I, yes, it doesn't take 2 more years more. Mercy one and a bum bum. A 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 berry on a barely, look on my back around with my hairy on the hook, on a lorry on a knee. Cindy on the darling, drive my sea. Hey, yabba dabba, and the rest is history. Going by the homesteading in the heartland. A mercy one and a bum bum. A mercy one and a bum bum. A dope he done, I wonder if the missile can shoot them down, I don't know. Taking and the jack it up, bring it right back with the backpack, yabba dabba, come back down to go, I do it now. Do the brushing, yes I'm not, so gonna do it like I do it now. Mercy one and a bum bum. A mercy one and a bum bum. Foogle rumor, I'm a tuma. Gonna bring it back like a booma. Gonna be the busy bright hello guy. Gonna bring it right back, now I die. A mercy one and a bum bum. A mercy one and a bum bum. 10 more S. Gonna do it like I say yes. Oh yeah, with the LB Rose. Johnny on the moon with the rose to the moon. Johnny do with the boom boom. Oh yeah, oh. A person, one, and a bum bum. 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 History passing on. I'm gonna go back and ride. I'm jamming like you never did before. Gonna go back and now you know. Yeah, just see no got my gun about there. I got your cowbell on, yes I do. More cowbell, just I say. Didn't make sense at all, already. A nice shade and I love it on a beat. A person, one, and a bum bum. A person, one, and a bum bum. Body like a wig, I come back again. Body like a wig, I guess okay. Body like a wig, and I guess okay. Body like a wig, and I guess okay. Oh, gently awake, go and say, I say, I bring it now. Gonna bring back like the runner, hey. Gonna do it now, and you do it now. I'm gonna go see like, oh, I know. One and a bum bum. A person, one and a bum bum. A person, one and a bum bum. Lamba, Palooza, thank you for following me. You're a great person, Emperor, set tenor, and the polo. Dump it in 2 minutes, all I think. I'll make it feel on the rip curling day. At the history person, rip procedure plays. I'm gonna do it just listening. I'm gonna do it like the Nightshade 111 light keeper. Gonna bring it right back now and then a light beeper. Not just like back in the 90s, back when I beeped on the 911. I'm going right back now and then you gotta run right like you were a doctor. But really now you were just some Joshua. I'm gonna go back round and I got my beep. I'm a bro spell hello on the phone. No, I'm about to bring it back, no phone home like a ET. Going right back now they see me. Johnny Doom and the CJ plays with the GC. I'm gonna do it now like the ME and the run the tape and the rip curl and with the L. Going right back now to what the hell. A better Zaga gonna go baga. Gonna eat it back round now, gotta hog up. A person, one and a bum bum. 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 Got the Zooey on the jam, the one money man. I'm gonna bring it back now. I got the one with the great heart. Tiffany gonna be it now. And I got this control and you gotta feel it now. Feeling on the music and I gotta bring it down. Got the coyote with and unrest and now. A person, one and a bum bum. A person, one and a bum bum. I'm not talking out with the chat 428. I'ma bring Robin home and on in the gate. I'ma bring Gordon out and I open the gate. And the invaders in and oh, what I miss. And the eagles on oh, so late I miss. Person, one and a bum bum. A person, one and a bum bum. Kurtra, thank you. I always forget the thumbs up. Bring it on and out, then they're gonna back the ring up. I do it and I just made about to start. I got to do it. I'm a brick, I like a sugar back. Got pepper on the sugar bunch 13. Go right back, now that's the green. The carnaholic is still up in the chat. I got the edgy welling and I gotta get at that. I bring it on back like a Mercer one. Gonna bring it back like a Bondi bum. Mercer one and a bum bum. A Mercer one and a bum bum. Then you got done the jump and murder and the universe for music. Everybody do it and I miss it again. And the CV outside this scene. I'm bringing around, I'm out. Person one and a bum bum. A person one and a bum bum. Jamming in my jammies a bum bum. Jamming in my jammies on a bum bum. Jamming in the mama on a bum bum. Jamming in my jamming. 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 Jamming in my jammies and I'm up bum. Jamming in my jammies and I'm bum 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 bum.
Jam it. Bust it up like a raptor. Going right back, we not control. Just a hill going over to Revelation Skywatcher now. Bring it right back with the one right now. Jumping starting. Gonna be head bobbing, foot tapping. Head bobbing, foot tapping, 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 head bobbing, foot tapping. I got to go. See you later. I'm gonna be get back now. Do. I'm a gamma, ba now. A person, one, and a bum bum. 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 Person, one, and a bum bum. A person, one, and a bum bum. I'm already papa na cheso. Agility J ram ne only I got to go come ne and neck back a death. I'm gonna go back around and I say sir. Person, one, and a bum bum. A 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 person, one, and a bum bum.
Good evening.
A person,
The
one,
University
and a
of
bum
Utah
bum.
in Salt Lake City. Welcome to the first and only vice presidential debate of 2020, sponsored by the Nonpartisan Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm Susan Page of USA Today. It is my honor to moderate this debate, 2020, sponsored by the Nonpartisan Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm Susan Page of USA Today. It is my honor to moderate this debate, an important part of our democracy. In Kingsbury Hall tonight, we have a small and socially distant audience.